We have a very special keynote speaker today. Mr. Eric Sabri is someone who has worked many years, working closely with the former treasurer, Ray Watovich, who used to be, of course, the honorable mayor of the city of Hamtramck. It's not often in politics people who pay their dues actually get a spot that they deserve. He has been fighting to keep people in their homes as the Wayne County treasurer. He has a goal of zero. He's going to come tell you about it, I hope, because I'm not going to take his speech. The first Muslim American ever elected countywide in the city of Detroit and all the 43 cities. Give it up for Eric Sabri, great public service. All right, good. Second mic.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. I want to tell you it's an honor to be invited here to the initiative's Spring Fling. Hamtramck Community Initiative is doing some great things. You're going to honor some people today who really demonstrated that they love the city and they put their life on the line, many of them, to help protect those who are here. We want to thank all the awardees, especially those first responders who look out for us day in and day out. Also, I want to just I recognize some of our fellow elected officials, Mayor Majewski and Hamtramck, the mayor here. We have our county commissioner, Martha Scott. And here's Representative Robinson. So, I don't know if I missed any other elected officials, but if I did, just let me know. I want to just take a few minutes of your time today to talk about, just a couple of minutes about the Treasurer's Office and some of the things that we're doing because there's still time to help people get out of foreclosure, to keep their properties. Now, I never fail to take advantage of an opportunity, if I get to speak, to talk about the programs that we have, payment plans that are available, and the opportunity that folks have to still save their properties. I'll just tell you a quick story. Last year, on June 1st, we had we said, let's look at the list of people who owe less than $1,000. They're about to get foreclosed. So I thought the list would be about 300 or 400 people. Well, when I got the list of all those people who owe less than $1,000 for 2014 taxes, the number was 2,769. Less than $1,000. So we had 4 interns working in our office. We put them with 2 of our staff people and said, okay, your full-time job is to call these people, text them, mail them letters, email them, go knock on their door, whatever you have to do, get in touch with the people, tell them they need to come down here and get into a payment plan or pay their taxes because they're about to lose their house for anything from, it was $88 to $900 some dollars. You know, that range. So, but they really worked hard. They did a tremendous job. And I love the interns that we had. We have a Michigan State Senate, it was 4 interns last year. They worked so hard. They didn't take breaks. They didn't go to lunch. They just worked. They were so dedicated. By June 23rd, we had all the people except 106 people off that list. And then to top it off, we had some people, including the owner of Captain Jay's, who's here today, put up private money to pay the taxes for the 106 people who didn't respond, who couldn't pay. So all we told them they had to do was get into a payment plan for next year because we won't help you next year. If you get bailed out this year, not going to help you next year. Get into a payment plan and keep your house. So this is the kind of effort that we're making, and we're going to do it again this year. We're ahead of the pace that we were last year, and it looks like our goal is 0 owner occupants getting foreclosed. That's our goal. So if you own your house and you live in the house, should be no foreclosures for anybody that owns and lives in their home. We may have some foreclosures for renters or people who are living in houses that they don't own because they really don't have any control of the situation. They may be paying their rent and the landlord is not paying their taxes. So last year in the city of Detroit, there was a pilot program, and we're going to expand it this year, where the city has the right to take these properties that get foreclosed before the auction by paying the back taxes. It's called the right of refusal. So the state has the first right, then the cities, the townships, and then the county. So the pilot program was 82 renters that were living in homes that got foreclosed. The city took those properties because Quicken Loans put the money up, and the city was able to pay the back taxes. So then the counseling was given to the homeowners, and now some of them have already received deeds and become homeowners since they went through the program. So this is and I think only 4 or 5 out of the 82 had to be evicted because they wouldn't do anything. So that's I think that's a success. We're going to try to expand it this year to maybe 400 or 500. If they raise enough money to do it, it'll work. I think that's one we can help those who are tenants who are doing nothing wrong other than they just paid their rent. So it's still time. So people have problems, send them down to the treasurer's office, 400 Monroe, 5th floor. We're here to help. So I wanted to also just say a few words about the treasurer that I learned from Ray Boy Tovich. You know, he's from Hamtramck. He's from this great city, and I learned a lot from him. He was there 39 years. He was a good treasurer. He didn't waste any money. And he told me, he said, if you you make money for the county, you invest money for the county, don't get too excited because nobody really cares. He didn't really say it like that. He had some special words he used when he spoke. But he said, nobody really cares. And he said, but if you lose one penny, you're going to have an investigation, you're going to be on the news. So just take care of the money, be careful what you do, don't lose any county's money. So he gave some good advice. He gives some good advice. And so I just want to say that he spends most of the time at home with his wife now, and he doesn't like to get out too much. So we're going to go visit him at his home and have lunch in a couple of weeks. Try to drag him out of the house, but he hangs around. He doesn't want to leave his wife at home, and so he's hanging around. But he's doing okay. He's still sharp mentally, and I just wanted to tell you that. Now, my subject this evening, and for a few minutes, has nothing to do with taxes. I want to talk about thinking about people other than ourselves. That's really my topic, is thinking about others besides ourselves. And the people that I'm really want to talk about more is the disabled. Disabled people that we have in our community. We have disabled veterans. We have disabled first responders. We have disabled parents. We have disabled children. Just think for a minute. Do you know someone that's disabled? Have you been disabled? Are you in trouble? Physically, mentally, emotionally. We have a lot of people who are disabled in our community. And we have to see them, because most times they're invisible to us. And they're invisible. We see them and we don't see them. And we just got to pay attention to those who are disabled. Because many of our disabled family members or community members have so much to offer, and also have already given so much to us that we can't afford to ignore them. We can't afford to ignore them. And I want to tell you a little story. My father was disabled when he was young. He had polio when he contracted polio when he was 18 months old. And he was about to die. They had to take a bone from his shin and put it in his arm, and they were able to save his arm. But he always had a little skinny arm, like a little child's arm, because he had polio. But he went to a hospital, and he never told me this story until, it was one day I was complaining, about, it was a racial issue that happened to me, and I was complaining about white people. I said, I was in high school, I came home, I said, I'm sick of white people, I'm tired of them. They're getting on my nerves. So he said, wait a minute. He said, I gotta tell you this, I want to tell you this story. So he told me the story. He said, when I got polio, when I contracted polio, my mother took me to the hospital. This is in 1931. Took me to the hospital in Chicago and said, my son is sick, he needs help. He said, you can't come in here. He said, you gotta take him to the colored hospital. He said, okay. So she said, okay. They took him to the colored hospital. When he got to the colored hospital, they said, we don't have any equipment over here to deal with polio. Your son looks like he's got polio, he's sick. I said, nothing we can do for him here. So she said, I don't know what's gonna happen. My son, is dying. So she was a domestic worker. She used to clean homes for the rich people. And she went to her boss, owner of the home, said, you need to call your friends. Call some of your doctor friends, because my son is dying. He's going to die if he doesn't get in the hospital. So her boss talks to his friends, and gets him in the hospital. Gets him in the regular hospital, white hospital. And so they save his life. They give him like I said, took the bone out and fixed him so he could live, but he had a disability. So the lesson what my father was telling me, he said, see, you can't get mad at anybody in general. You can't be generalized. You can't generalize things because he said the group of white people were trying to keep me from going to the hospital and let me die. He said, but then another white person called over to the doctor and got me in the hospital to save my life. So just don't try to generalize when you're saying things. You know, address the problem directly to what it is instead of generalizing about people. So he just told me that story. That's the only reason I found out about his disability, how he got polio and what happened is because of that. So when he went to school, and I'm using his life kind of to tell you a little story about disability. They put him in a school called the handicap school, and the school was for mentally handicapped, mentally disabled, and the physically disabled. They put him in the same school. They treated him exactly the same. So he said that there were people who were very smart. He said he was very smart. He said, and there were other people who weren't very smart. They had mental disabilities. But they were all together. They treated him exactly the same. So his mother, my grandmother, was saying, you know, as soon as you learn how to tie your shoes, tie your tie, dress yourself, take care of yourself, I'm going to get you out of this school and put you in a regular school. So she had to fight for 2 years to get him to go to a regular elementary school because she was saying he's not mentally disabled, he needs to go to school with other students. But it took 2 years of her fighting to separate the mental and the physical disability in their minds so he could go to school. He had to prove that he could handle regular work. But he had no mental disability at all. They just figured because he had a physical disability, they were penalizing him and making him stay back with those who had mental disabilities. So we've come a long way in this country in terms of how we address disability. But those who have disabilities still somewhat invisible to us and don't get the attention that they deserve. One of the things my dad always said was that he started in the Boy Scouting, and Boy Scouting was the only organization, the Boy Scouts of America was the only organization that treated him like a normal child. They treated him like they didn't pamper him, they didn't do anything to make him feel inferior or like he was different. They treated him like a regular or any other scout. So he really flourished in that environment of scouting. He became an Eagle Scout, Order of the Arrow, and later on he actually became an executive for the Boy Scouts. When we growing up, we were young, he was an executive for the Boy Scouts in Detroit, and we moved to New York, and he was there for 4 years, and back to Detroit. We came back to Detroit, 1963. So, in doing all this, he was showing that the scouting organization really prepared him for his leadership skills, his management skills, the things that he learned how to do, because they treated him normal. And another message is that we should not treat people with disabilities as though they're less than we are. Let them express themselves. Let them try to do things. Let them do as much as they can. We can help them, but let them grow. Let them develop. Is that mic still there?
I didn't cut you off, sir.
You didn't cut me off? I don't know about the mic.
That's a DJ mic.
DJ mic, okay. Anyway, we have to think about it. Now, there's the people who are taking care of disabled, the caregivers. Let's talk about them a little bit. Now, if you're a caregiver for someone that's disabled, and you got challenges also. You also have your own challenges because you have to have patience. You have to have understanding. You have to have a strong will. And you have to be a psychiatrist almost dealing with this person who is disabled because you don't want them to feel bad. You want them to, some days they're going to feel like they can't do it anymore. Say, I can't do this. I'm not going to make it. You got to convince them that they can. And some days you got to kind of pull them back a little bit. Say, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do this yet because, you know, it can harm you. Just you got to relax. So the caregivers is another part of this disability issue because the caregiver has to take care of themselves in order to do the work to help the disabled. Now, another group are those who are disabled that are raising children who are not disabled. You have that going on too. You have disabled people who are doing what they have to do to take care of people who are not disabled. And that's a challenge in itself. So I just wanted to bring this point today about disabled individuals, whether it's mental or physical disabilities, that we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention and we have to respond. We can't let disability become invisible to us. We have to see it and help when we can. So I don't know how much time I have, Isaac.
We got to get to the dance.
But anyway, I know we have a lot of awards. I have to leave at 7:30 to go to another event. I mean 8:30 to go to another event. But I wanted to spend a few minutes just talking about that this evening and ask that you, do anything you can to help people who are behind their taxes. We're going to prove some of these individuals wrong who don't believe that we can get to zero owner occupants for foreclosure. I believe in the people. I believe they can do it. And I'm going to wait till the very last minute before I say that we can't do it. So thank you very much for your time.
Now check it out, y'all. He told me something funny before he came up here. Anytime you want to protest him, he likes it. Because every time you get about 100 people down there, some of them actually pay their taxes. Y'all, but you gotta tell it better.
I told the story wrong. I told him, I said, every time we have somebody protest in our office about foreclosure, so next couple of days we get a flood of people coming down to pay. So that's it. I don't mind the protest because it's free advertising.
All right, give it up for Eric Sabri. With all seriousness, this man will take your email or phone call early in the morning and already be on the phone with a person, no matter if they're rich or poor. He's a man with a good heart, and he believes in social justice. And we thank for his $1,000 donation. Give it up for Eric Sabri, gold sponsor. All right, it is my honor and privilege to introduce Ron Orr, who's the president, very dedicated leader in our community. Our treasurer and president. He's the treasurer and the president. It means nothing gets done without his rubber stamp or his approval.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. This is a great day. Thank you guys so much for coming. It is so good to see so many people coming to pay tribute to our finest people in Hamtramck. I can't thank you guys enough. We have a lot of awards to give to people today, and they're all deserving. What I want to do before I bring Andy Molesky up, I just want to give an acknowledgement to, this was the first time that we were able to go out and just about everyone that we went to ask for donations for the food gave us more. So, thank you, give thanks to all of those people. First, as we try to keep the award we're giving it just like in the same order, just like the Oscars. So, as in tradition, we normally invite up, we do the awards for the fire department. So if I can get Chief Hagan, come on up and do the first award.
Good evening, everyone. You know, firefighters are a very, very unique breed of people. You know, we stand, watch over this community and the citizens, not because we're seeking recognition or reward or compelled to do so. We're out there because of gratitude, loyalty, and choice. Choice that every firefighter has accepted as a personal obligation to a sacred covenant with you, the citizens, community of Hamtramck. It's an obligation to humanity. Thank you. Is it working?
Closer to your mouth.
It's working.
It's working.
It's working?
Yeah.
It's an obligation of humanity, fidelity, character, and to one another. We worry about ourselves as well. We watch each other's backs. Watch you. That's who we are, and that's why we take the oath. So on behalf of my department, thank you very much for this event. You don't have to. So even though none of us really like the attention brought upon us, even me, I believe it's accurate to say that all of us, every now and then like to have recognition and acceptance and to feel appreciated. So may I now please call upon Captain Bill Dickens, who will introduce our first nominee, recipient.
Nope, I'm gonna have to talk loud.
It works.
It's working? Yeah. All right. I don't have to talk loud. Very good. I'd like to start off with letting you know how this honoree was selected for the honor. It is not a popularity vote. It's not done by the chief, although it could be. It's not done by the city. It's done by the guys that he works with. It's done by his peers. And for that reason, we consider it one of the highest honors in the fire service. If you're selected by the guys that you're going in with, the guys that you work with day in and day out, if they're the ones that select you, it means a lot to us. So just to let you know, that's how it's done. He was nominated by his peers. Before I get on to explaining why he was honored, I would just like to honor the past recipients that showed up today. We do have a couple of them here today. I just want them to stand up for a second and let all you see, these are past honorees for Firefighter of the Year in the Hamtramck Fire Department. These guys have dedicated their entire lives to Hamtramck, to the fire service. That's Lieutenant Oleg Shock, his dad was a firefighter, his third generation. And that is Firefighter Nick Mancina, and both of them well-deserved past recipients of this honor. I'm going to set this down. Everybody hear me talking okay back there? I'm back. Okay, this year's honoree. He's a man that's always been first to lend a hand around the firehouse. Not only there, but on the scene of an emergency, he steps up. You don't have to tell him, he just does it. He's right up there on the forefront of everything, in the firehouse, on the fire scene, or in the community. Events like this are how we can acknowledge that. Because he doesn't ask for acknowledgement, he never expected this award, he just does it. Every day he makes sure he's prepared for his job, not only physically by staying in shape, but mentally, by being 100%, so he can dedicate himself to the mission to honor his oath, the oath that he took when he accepted this position as a Hamtramck firefighter. He swore to protect the lives and property of this city, and he honors that oath every day. He gives 100% to that oath, and that's why his brothers, his peers, selected him for this honor. He gives tirelessly of himself, and he makes sure that the new guys, the guys that we hire that are coming along, get all of his knowledge, all the stuff that was shared with him when he got on the job. He takes time out of his day to make sure that these guys are ready to give their 100%, are physically ready, are mentally ready. He takes time when he doesn't have to. It's not his job. He's not an officer. He doesn't have to train the guys, but he takes time out of his day to do it. He helps them acquire the skills necessary to fulfill his duty and his oath. He's also a devoted husband to Kimberly and a loving father to Talon, Logan, and Nixon. That's 3 boys while being a firefighter, and the mental and physical tasks that it takes to do the job here and raise 3 boys, well, I'm sure you can imagine. That's why we want to honor Chris Monch as this year's Firefighter of the Year, and I'd like to have him come up.
Are you going to hand out the awards this time? You want to hand out the awards?
I didn't want to make it a politician thing.
You're working. It means a lot for me to receive this award from my peers. But first of all, I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. We're celebrating the city of Hamtramck. There's no better way to celebrate a city than to celebrate the people in it. So give it up for yourselves. Now, I love being a firefighter. I love the work, the camaraderie that I get with my peers, the gratification I get from the job, and just the service that we provide you. But I would not be able to have this amazing career if it were not for my family over there. And their understanding on why I miss a game or a concert or a birthday is why I'm able to do this job. And I thank them for their love and their patience for me to be able to indulge in my passion. So, but more specifically, I need to single out my wife, Kimberly. She's endured almost a decade, not in Hamtramck, but I've been a firefighter for almost a decade now, of me missing treasured memories and numerous of our children's firsts. I'm sure that's not easy for her as it's not easy for me. And just missing time as a married couple. I only get 2/3 of my life with my family, and I miss a lot of that because she's a nurse as well, and she takes care of your families. So my wife, not only does she take care of my family, but she's a nurse as well. So I can't even thank her enough for the sacrifices that you've made for me and for our family, and I love you so much. So give my wife a hand. To my fellow firefighters, Our job has more intricacies than anyone here will ever know about. The public sees us at fires, car accidents, fire alarms and special events and such, and they see the job that we do. But what they can't see is our culture and the dedication that we have behind the scenes. You leave your families, hope to return the next day, but that's not guaranteed. You work 240 hours a month compared to the normal person's 160. And we cook, we clean, we train, we laugh, we argue, we fix, we do everything together. We are a family. We do everything that a family does, plus we take care of your family while we're at work. And that's what makes us great at our jobs. We make sure that we have each other's backs. We make sure we excel at our jobs so that we have each other taken care of, so we can take care of you. And because of that unity that we all share, I cannot in good conscience accept this on my behalf alone, because we all deserve this. So as an ambassador for the Hamtramck Fire Department, I choose to accept this for all of us. I just want to say how lucky Hamtramck is to have a dedicated full-time fire department in their city. Other cities outside of here have part-time or a public safety officers, and they have no idea what they're missing. Those templates are dangerous for this community. Just to shave a few bucks off the budget, that's not okay with me. So while we're here, we look forward to serving this community for as long as we can. So everyone have a great night, and thank you for this.
Next, I would like to bring up Andy Molesky. Andy is going to do the designation for the police officers. And I know Andy's going to keep it short because we're going to go out drinking after this. So.
We have a 3-minute speech rule, that's all.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Thanks, Ron. And I want to thank everyone for everything that was done tonight. It was a really great event so far. And it's my honor to introduce, we have 3 honorees this year for the police department. So when I call your name, if you can come on up here, I'll call 3 up at once, and then I'll give a little speech on behalf of each officer. For Officer of the Year, Detective Rob George. For Civilian of the Year, Dispatcher Anna Zarnick. And for Reserve Officer of the Year, Sergeant Joseph Willis. We'll start off with Officer of the Year. All these guys, I've worked with them for several years, and it's an honor that I can speak about each one. Detective George has been with the Hamtramck Police Department since 2003. He's currently assigned as a detective. Over the past several years, he was assigned to the FBI Violent Crimes Task Force. He has worked in conjunction with the FBI and the Hamtramck Police on a wide number of violent cases. He's hardworking and regularly goes out of his way to assist his fellow officers. He makes himself available to assist with many functions outside the normal case assignments. He's one of the department's firearms instructors. In 2017, he worked countless hours as lead detective assigned to a production case that led to the arrest of 2 individuals. He's an exceptional member of the Hamtramck Police Department. Congratulations, Rob George. Now I'm going to go to Civilian of the Year with Dispatcher Zarnick. Dispatcher Zarnick is a hardworking member of the Hamtramck Police Department. She has been tasked with training new dispatchers and handling most of the data entry in the dispatch area. She regularly goes above and beyond her future duties and is a positive role model as a senior dispatcher. She is extremely reliable and a member of the Hamtramck Police Department. She's punctual, on time, and takes her job very seriously. Congratulations, Dispatcher Zarnick. And last but not least, Reserve Sergeant Joseph Willis. Reserve Sergeant Willis has been a valued member of the Hamtramck Police Reserves. He volunteers a lot of his time to the Hamtramck Police Department. He serves the community during scheduled event, weekend tours of duty, holidays, special events, and emergency situations. He can be counted on in assisting the department whenever is needed. He's very professional, courteous, and respectful when dealing with staff and in the community. Congratulations to Sergeant Joseph Willis. And again, I'd like to congratulate all three of these guys. It's an honor to be up here and tell a little bit about each member of the police department. And thank you to the community, and again, thanks for everything you guys did tonight.
Our next honoree is the owner of Captain Jay's Fish and Chicken. Make some noise for Lemon Pepper. Say Lemon Pepper! My mother says I'm too loud, so I'm going to be a little less loud. We have our special honoree is a man who employs a lot of young people in our community. He has a new store that's managed by his son, who's director of operations, Muhammad. He's there videotaping me on his cell phone. I think we have a lot of the Sheik family in the house. If you're from Captain Jay, stand up over there. Captain Jay's Fish and Chicken. And we also have his friend, who's one of the owners of Good Burger in Dearborn and Garden City, Sam Alabi. They have a great burger. It's actually real hamburger meat. My favorite hamburger in Shea Place. Good Burger. Abdullah Sheikh is one of the leading forces behind the American Human Rights Council, which fights for refugees and fights for prisoners and people who are forgotten and people who don't have a voice. During the Flint crisis, this man organized a lot of humanitarian aid for the people of Flint. He is also the founder of the American Muslim Pact, making sure that our voice is heard in the democratic process. He's, as heard earlier from the Honorable Eric Sabri, very generous. When there were some people about to lose their homes, this man stepped up and provided some resources to keep families in their homes. Let me give the microphone to the one and only Abdullah Sheikh, owner of all the Captain J's, about 150 of them. And that's why I'm so fat, because of this man right here, Abdullah Sheikh.
Hi everyone, good evening. As a matter of fact, I'm honored to receive this award on behalf of all humanitarian people in the world, whether they are politicians, doctors, engineers, business people, janitors, anywhere we are. This award on behalf of everyone. So let's give them a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, what inspired me is I heard statement. It says, activists and a humanitarian sacrifice everything for the sake of others. This is what inspired me, and that should inspire everyone, especially our children. At the end, I would like to thank HCI. I would like to thank Isaac for endorsing me to this award. I would like to thank Mr. Eric Sabri, who we work so hard to save every single house from going for foreclosure. We need plenty of people like Mr. Eric Sabri, and we need also many people like Representative Rosemary, who bring us Isaac, who sacrifice every day for the sake of the community. We like to thank you for coming today. We like to thank all the politicians, the current politician, and the new candidate, and we wish them good luck, and God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Get your Oscars and a quick picture. We need some music. DJ's supposed to be scratching right now. Okay, everybody, there's one amendment to the program. This man in the red outfit, you've been nominated for Best Dressed. During the party afterward in the program, stand up, my man. We got the ballroom tonight. Everybody say, we got the ballroom. And we have John Elodge, who's the publisher. He's been nominated for Best Dressed. He's wearing the flamboyant pink tie right there, their Councilman Fidel. And Rosita Perkins looking good in her flowery sweater. And Martha G. Scott is the nominee wearing that Purple Rain Prince purple outfit. And if you want to be nominated, just talk to the publisher. So we need a Best Dress Award. Make some noise for Best Dress. All right. Our next honoree. We want to bring up the executive board of YALA. Please come on now. We're going to bring up the entire executive board. Organization of the year. The Yemeni American Leadership Association Organization of the Year. Everybody say YALA. Say YALA, la, 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 la. That's a cool name. I think it says what, Yalla Vote, right? Or no? Is that Arabic? Yalla Vote? What that mean? Hurry, 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 hurry? All right. Yalla is a charitable education nonprofit organization. This sounds like the website, but these folks are helping people in the community. Free English as a second language classes, Safety Day, Culture Day. If they wouldn't be Organization of the Year, I'm not going to read the 10 pages of their accomplishments, but please give them a round of applause. I want to acknowledge their entire board. Mr. Al Marizi, the Culture and Social Officer. Is he here? Muhammad Ali. Give it up for him. He didn't come. More chicken for me. All right. We have the Health Affairs Officer, Ghalib Al-Hamakani. There he is. He's wearing the cool hat. Omar S. Al-Mazmari, the Educational Officer. Jamal Al-Turki, the Media Officer. Mohammed Ahmed Al-Duay, General Secretary. That sounds like the man with the list. Adam Al-Harvey, Vice President and Treasurer, double duty. And our President, Abdul Malik Yana M. Qasim himself, President of YALA. Congratulations.
Entire board, if you guys go over there, let's make sure that we're ready to roll.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. First, I would like to thank my brother Isaac Robinson and the Hamtramck Community Initiative for the award and the recognition. It's my pleasure to accept this award on behalf of the Yemeni American Leadership Association, YALA. It's been almost 4 years since the idea of establishing a non-profit organization in Hamtramck was initially conceived. A few ambitious young men who've had the passion of playing a major role toward the betterment of our community teamed up and made it happen. Since then, YALA has come a long way in promoting education among our community. With our new location, with our new location, we've been able to offer ESL classes in different levels for men and women, and free vocational class in partnership with the Umbrella Tree organization. Free transportation is also available for all students. We are planning to offer free computer classes, a GED class, and more in the near future. YALA has held several events and activities to introduce our culture to the brothers and sisters of different ethnicities in our city. It also had held events to promote safety and educate our community in regards to knowing their rights and duties in the political and social life. One of YALA's most important objectives is building bridges and working side by side with other organizations and entities in our community to make our city a better place to live. Please pay a visit to our new location at 2112 Holbrook Avenue, Hamtramck. Thank you all and have a great weekend.
But our next honoree is Business Leader of the Year, Mr. Gias Talukder from Bengal Auto. Mr. Talukder has donated a vehicle to Hamtramck Community Initiative that we're going to actually auction off at some later date. Our board dealt with too many legalities and raffles, so we'll just do it later. You don't have time to argue about how we want to raffle this car off. So please come up, Brother Gias, and if you have your family come with you, everybody that came with Brother Gias, come on up, because we want to make this picture more beautiful. Now, is your wife here, the First Lady of Bengal? Have her come up. Where is she? Oh, she's video recording. We want Mrs. Gias to look to was it Miss Ramona? What's her name? All right. Give it up to the First Lady, Ramona Childry. First Lady of Bengal Auto. But this man has donated vehicles to different nonprofits where they have raffled off and raised funds. He's done so for this organization. He's also donated to the Bangladeshi Festival, which is a great tradition here, isn't it, Mayor? Give it up for Mayor Musey. What a humble leader. Keep the line. Mr. Tulucker has also been very generous to local sports teams. So give it up for our Business Leader of the Year, Gias Tulucker. Or is it Tulucker Gias? I don't know. It's on Facebook the other way.
It's helpful. Good evening, everyone. My name is Gias Talukdar, as you have heard from Isaac. I don't know if he have told so much about me. I don't know if I am that much yet. So thank you all for coming here tonight and make this event a great one. Thanks to Hamtramck Community Initiative for honoring me tonight with this great award of being the Business Leader of the Year in Hamtramck. And there are a lot of good leaders in our community. And maybe I'm one of them, I don't know, but I know so many good business leaders that dwells here. So good evening again. Thanks to Hamtramck Community Initiative for honoring me tonight with the Best Business Leader of the Year. I'm the owner of Bengal Auto Sale in Hamtramck, and I'm also the secretary of BABAM, which means Bangladeshi American Business Association of Michigan, which I was elected for 2018 and 2019. Give me a big hand. I have tried my best to help all the organizations that come to our business, and we try our best with time and effort to give them as much as possible. Most of the time we donate cars from our used car lot, which for Bengal Auto Sale, so that they can raise some funds with that vehicle and then, whatever help they need. And I especially thanks to my wife for helping me day and night to get through what I'm doing. We have all the best people that goes in our Hamtramck city, especially our mayor, who has been elected for 4 times now. So give her a big hand. The 4th time she's been elected, and we have all good officials in our Hamtramck city, good councils, good firefighters, good police officers. We get help all the time. Whenever we need it, they always respond. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for honoring Bengal Auto Sale, and thank you for honoring me as the Business Leader of the Year, and thank you, HCI, all the members that worked hard tonight. Good evening, everybody.
Our next honoree is Business of the Year. Everybody gets your malt liquor from Walt's Party Store. I'm just playing. But the owner of Walter's Party Store, Frank Ayer. Come on down. I'm going past this way. Every year, Mr. Frank Ayer gives out free holiday meals during Thanksgiving and the 4th of July. He's a man who has a passion for the poor. Here is your Business of the Year, Walter's Party Store, where I get my favorite one, Better Made. I've never bought a brew from it. But congratulations.
I can't thank the city of Hamtramck enough for all that they've done for me and my family, and all I can do is give back to this community. I love this community, and I believe that, it takes a team to make a community. It takes if every one of us gives just a little bit of ourselves to this community, to any community, then we can have a better community that we live and work in. And again, I can't thank you guys enough. I love you guys and hope that we do more and more year after year. And then giving back is what we all love to do. So, thank you.
I know I was real clear. I was real clear.
Good day, y'all.
They have helped revitalize 2 play fields, cricket fields in Detroit and Hamtramck, working with the city council and the mayor, Mayor Majewski, both the administration of Detroit and Hamtramck. Now there's a lot of community groups that work with them, and we appreciate you too. But give it up for the manager. That's not Sparky Anderson. That's the one and only Syed Ahmed.
Hello, how's everyone? I'm going to try my best to speak loud, and I hope you can hear me. First of all, I would like to thank HCI for what they're doing, and it inspires me to do more and more for upcoming kids, and it's a passion. And thanks to my family for understanding that I put my time and my effort towards the other people and the other kids, and I have my own 2 daughters that I want to give time to them, but still I'm very passionate about cricket, and we had worked with Hamtramck City before that is here, and Councilman Anamia. Then I have spoke to Detroit, and Councilman Scott Benson helped us get another cricket field. So we really want all of your help, and so we can do much more for the kids. And we basically want to actually have a platform where people can come up and just have for anybody that want to learn cricket. We are willing to spend our time, volunteer our time to teach them. And I have a cricket player here. He's from Bangladesh. He had played a World Cup, so I want to take advantage of him, and we want to get everything that we can get from him.
All right.
We're back. Now I hope you can hear me. And one more time, my name is Saeed, and thanks to HCI one more time. And just congratulate everyone here for being here, and we're really honored to be here, and it's a great pleasure for us, and we're very thankful. And I'm going to make it short since there are other words. And one thing, we are here, and I have Shakir, and you will come up here. And we'll start.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks again, thanks HCI, and thank you one more time. Thanks to everyone.
So, my name is Reverend Sharon Buckley. I'm on the board of Hamtramck Community Initiative, and we have a very special treat for you guys tonight. So, Martin Organisiak from our board is going to come forward, if I can find Martin. And he's the owner of ABC Computer in Hamtramck, and he has donated a laptop for you guys, but we're going to draw a name. So, there's a little, we took note of who's here tonight among you. So Martin is going to address us. Says his name's Lincoln. Your name's in here, I know it is. Martin, come forward. Let's give a hand for Martin for his generosity. The wonderful board member for HCI. So Martin, you draw a name.
Enough time.
Nope. His name is Lincoln.
Okay, that's what we have.
Okay. The winner is Tamim Oni.
Congratulations.
Great. So we'd like you guys to stay behind so we can get your certificates for you while we go on with the next awards. Okay? Thank you.
All right, I'm going to bring up Reverend Darla for our next presentation. Reverend Darla.
Good evening, everyone. This next award goes to a particular group that for at least 5 years now, every time I have called on them, they don't hesitate to come. I think most of you know for the Baptist faith, First Sunday is a very trying time in the church. They go out, they visit the sick, and we give communion. And that's immediately after the church service. Well, here at Hamtramck, a lot of times we have programs in the afternoon at the library, different centers. And I'm called on to get a choir. I'm called on to get a speaker. I have never called on this choir and they have turned me down. It can be in the week for Black History Month. It can be in March for Women's Month. It makes no difference. They come and they usually bring someone to play. And their spirit, when they come in, their spirits are so high for being able to recognize and celebrate the Lord that everybody in the building, I don't care how they came in, their spirits are lifted. This is the new St. Luke Choir. Daisy, would you come forward with the whole choir stand, please? Okay, the whole choir, please come forward. Please come on. I mean, this year, I think it was in February for Black History Month, they came to the Hamtramck Historical Museum on Joseph Road, and when they got finished singing, you would have thought we had had a regular church service. I mean, they just praised the Lord, and they do it in a fashion that everyone can be blessed. Not any particular group of people, but everyone present. We all became one people, as Scripture says. I'm not going to go preaching, but the Scripture tells us that we are one body. And when this choir sings, we become that. We become that one body. So, their pastor is Reverend Nathaniel Slappy. They're on the west side of the city, and I can't say enough about the way they come out and support the city of Hamtramck. Most of them are from Hamtramck. If they're not, their mamas and daddies was raised up in Ducktown, or their grandparents. So they have a love in their heart for our city, which we all should have. We all should have. So it gives me pleasure, and it's an honor to be able to award you tonight with the Community Service Award, and from the depths of my heart, Daisy, I say thank you.
So, Zahn Almasari, are you here? Zahn, please come. Tomorrow is our mayor's birthday, and we're going to ask Mayor Karen to come up. And Zahn's going to introduce the city council, and we're going to sing happy birthday first.
Hello, everybody. We have an honorable mayor of Hamtramck, Karen Michaelski, and tomorrow is her birthday. We're going to sing the happy birthday song for her. Please stand up. And I ask every council member from Hamtramck to come up to the podium. So, Mayor, sing your song. Can we stand up and sing the song Happy Birthday for our honorable mayor? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear mayor. Happy birthday to you. And we'll sing.
So, I'm
Thank you, everyone.
I want to bring up a man who needs no introduction, Tom Servanac, longtime leader, Southwest Detroit, East Side, West Side, Hamtramck. He's touched the lives of so many. He's here for our next important presentation.
Thank you, Isaac. It's a real honor for me today. I'm going to be giving out 3 awards, and the first one is concerning the Hamtramck Historical Museum. If you haven't been there, please come. This is a vibrant part of the community. It's all run by volunteers, all run by Hamtramck residents and other volunteers. And we were given a building about 5 years ago that needed a lot of repair. It was given to us, so we accepted it, and it had a lot of potential. It was the first department store in the city of Hamtramck, and it's about 100 years old. And it's a beautiful building, but again, it needed a lot of repair. And God, you know, not only sent us the building, God sent us people to help renovate it. And we have been blessed with 2 groups that volunteered to help us renovate it. And the first group is the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. You know, these guys are not only brothers among themselves, but they're brothers with all of us. And they really show that. They've spent almost a year renovating the electrical system for the museum, which was in total shambles. And we all have now new lights, all LED, so the cost is way down. All of our 3 floors in the museum have been with new electrical system, and they're still working on it. We had a great group. It was the Electrical Workers Minority Caucus. They were having a convention downtown. And they're part of IBEW. They came with about 35 volunteers from all over the country and rewired the basement where we're going to have our programs. So with that, I'd like to have everybody come up from the electrical workers. God bless you. You've just done such wonderful work. And they're supported by a local 80 sheet metal workers, and they've been helping us too, so thank you guys. You want to come up too? So I think, Rick, you gonna say? Okay, this is Rick Maroney.
Hi, can you hear me? I'm Rick Maroney. I'm a retired electrician on a local 50. I've been for over 40-some years. Let me say, it's really a privilege to accept this award on behalf of Local 50's Community Service Project. I mean, we feel this museum is a great cause and a great asset to the community, because as revitalization continues in this area, we'll get a chance to put some spark in some old buildings. And the way we look at things, as this city comes back, as the whole area comes back, people, they're going to want to know where we've been, and I think they want to know where we're going. And I think that's what the museum's going to help us do here. Right now, I want to thank Tom Servanac for nominating us for this award. He's been our main guy, point person at the museum since day one. Him, Greg, and the rest of his crew, they've been extremely gracious hosts. Every day they treat us with ultimate respect and appreciation for the job. They just made us feel like a real team effort. When you're volunteers, that's really the only reason you do it for, is to be part of something like this. And, all the guys are more than proud of what they've done, because the way we've been treated here. Like I say, it makes us want to keep coming back. But since we began this job over a year ago, we've had over 40 different electricians, volunteers lend a hand, including apprentices, retirees, local officers, even a large number of brothers and sisters from other IBEWs, which Tom mentioned during our Minority Caucus Day of Community Service. We brought somewhere around 35 members from IBEW locals all over the country that day. These guys probably never even saw each other until that morning, and somehow we managed to get the entire basement lit before lunchtime. But that's just the way we do things. It's a great day. We all had a lot of fun with it. And I think you guys are happy with the job we did. But throughout this job, I'm really proud to say I've had a group of core guys, mostly retirees, who've showed up on their own throughout the week for over a year now. You know, I mean, like introduce Norm, Bob, Andy, Joe, Mike. These guys have been with me since day one on this job. I mean, they don't just do the install. People don't really see. These things are engineered as we go. The material has to be procured. The tools have to be supplied. And these guys are taking responsibility for a lot of those disciplines. So I mean, there's a lot more going on than just what you see things hanging. A lot of thought goes into this stuff, and these guys are there to do it. And we really appreciate it. And girls, I'm sorry, I meant sisters and brothers. Thank you, Dan. You know, another thing throughout the project, I want to acknowledge we could not have done this without help from some of our local contractors. They've more than generously been providing us with tools, materials, permits, deliveries, all at their own expense, and they've never asked for anything, no recognition or anything. Some were Motor City Electric, Conti Electric, Hall Engineering, Knapp Electric, just to name a few of the local businesses and contractors in the area that have helped us with this thing. I mean, we're really appreciative for that. We do have a strong spirit of cooperation between us and our employers. They're there when we need it, and that's why we're here too. You know. But I'd like to point out, Local 58 will remain committed to the city of Hamtramck as the revitalization continues throughout their city. And we know that the museum is a work in progress and still has a ways to go. You know, I'm pretty certain we'll be around in one capacity or another to help these guys know what their goals are. You know, we know it's going to take a little while, but we're not going anywhere. We've been here for over 100 years, and we hope to be here for the next 100 years. So, thanks again, folks.
You know, we figured out how much work they did by number of hours. They put in $100,000 worth of labor. So thank you very much. And so we have a representative from the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, Mr. Sean O'Neill. Please give him a hand. And they spent 3 weeks and had maybe about 30 workers during that time, right? Okay. Sean, again, thank you for all the work that you did at the museum.
Thank you, Tom. And thank you, Hamtramck, for recognizing us. When Tom contacted me about the project, I didn't think much of it. I just went to take a look at it to see if it would be something we could do to help out. We were just there to help out the community. All the work was done by our apprentices, and DC1M is just proud that we could be a part of it. And we really thank you for honoring us this way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. If Superintendent Thomas Nietzsche is here, we'd like to invite him to come forward for the Hamtramck Public Schools. Okay. Mr. Nietzsche is superintendent of our Hamtramck Public Schools, and he's standing with me tonight to give awards for special leaders in the Hamtramck schools. First up, John Rostek, Teacher of the Year. John has been a teacher in Hamtramck Public Schools since 1995. He was raised in Hamtramck and is a proud graduate of Hamtramck High School. He's the co-chair of DECA at Hamtramck High, which is an organization to prepare emerging leaders and entrepreneurs for careers in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management. He's also the co-chair of the PBIS committee at Hamtramck High. PBIS is Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports. John is a teacher representative on the district-wide Turnaround Network and co-chairs General Motors interviews and internships. Could you give any more? That's awesome. Thank you. And I know you're a beloved teacher because Anna Charnick is here tonight from the police department, and she was a student. And she was so excited that she was receiving an award with one of her favorite teachers. Let's give it up for John. Also, Richard Wawrzynski could not be with us tonight, but because he's running a marathon tomorrow, and he's the Director of Building and Grounds and Transportation. Hamtramck Public Schools Employee of the Year. He's been employed with the school since 1989. He was raised in Hamtramck. He's a licensed electrician. He was named Director of Building and Grounds and Transportation in 2016. One of the things that Mr. Nietzsche said he's most grateful for is helping to get the Talbeda building back up and running to be a school for the Hamtramck Public School System. And last we have Roxana Yasmin. Is Roxana here? Roxana is with the Dickinson East School since 2006. She works with students, teachers as a paraprofessional. She's our paraprofessional of the year, and that's the award we're giving her. She's always friendly, prepared, according to Mr. Nietzsche, always raising the goal of the achievement level of the students. She volunteers for all Hamtramck Public Schools initiatives, attends every after-school activity at Dickinson East and the high school, and she translates for Bengali families. Very important service. We thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations to John, Roxana, and to Richard. It's my great pleasure to welcome Omar Tabet, Excellence in Diversity Award. He's been waiting very patiently. Omar Tabet. Omar is one of the most creative people in our community that I know. He's a writer for the Yemeni American News. He writes articles that are uplifting and highlighting our community. Also a graduate of Hamtramck High and currently Dean of Students of Hamtramck High School. Omar is dedicated to creating an atmosphere of diversity and inclusion, which is one of our core values in Hamtramck. And we thank you for lifting that up. He's also a football and baseball coach at Ham High, and he also coaches baseball for the Summer League. I think you're busy all year round with the sports, yeah? And students from many backgrounds count on Omar to teach them how to play, but also how to be good sports and act with good character in the sports arena. And in his free time, Omar presents poems and conducts speeches and events in and around Hamtramck. So you're going to see him around more and more. And we thank you for all that you do for our kids, students, for our community. Thank you, Omar. God bless you. He was walked to Dickinson East Elementary School by his dad, and he graduated from Hamtramck Public Schools. But he really credits his parents with instilling in him a work ethic, and he earned his bachelor's in communication with a focus on public relations, master's degree in business administration, and he's currently working on a master's of information systems and leadership. He's employed by Raymond James Financial. When he campaigned for city council, he knocked on my door, and I was very impressed because he spoke well of our community and his strong desire to serve this city. And so we are very blessed to have him as our council member. Young council member, youngest I think. Rising Star Award, Fadel Armarsumi.
For those of you who know me, or for those of you who don't know me, my name is Fadel Marsumi. I just got elected into council, but I got appointed or I got selected in order to receive this award for Rising Star. But the truth is that we're all rising stars, and some get there faster than others. But at the end of the day, we have to be able to love our neighbor. We have to be able to understand that we're all on the same playing field, and that God created us equally, and that we work together as one in order to persevere and succeed. I got elected into this position. I got a speech prepared, but I don't like preparing speeches. I like just speaking from the heart. It's always been my dream to be able to give back to my city. It's always been my dream to be able to work hard and be able to assist others. And when getting elected into council, or when being able to serve in the position that I am serving right now, I realized that it's not about understanding politics. It's not about understanding finances. It's not about knowing how to balance a budget or being able to solve conflicts, but instead it's about respecting people. It's about being able to work together as one and to not focus on the things that separate you or the differences that you have, but to be able to respect each other and to understand that hard work and unification is the one thing that makes us unique. We're all different, and we're all people that want to be able to see our city, see each other succeed and triumph. But things get tough, things get hard, and even when things get tough, we need to be able to understand that we work. I see someone sleeping. There you are. All right. But I'm sorry I put you to sleep. But when things do get tough, it's always darkest before dawn, and we have to work together in order to overcome all difficulties that we have. And like I said, thank you. I appreciate you, HCI, for selecting me as your rising star. But we're all rising stars, and we need to work together in order to get there. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Representative Rosemary Robinson forward for the award for the Concerned Women of Hamtramck. Concerned Women of Hamtramck are receiving the Social Justice Award.
Good evening. This is a great honor for me because from the early days of the civil rights movement in the 1960s, I have known some of the women who are members of the Concerned Women of Hamtramck, and they have given so much in sweat and blood for the freedom of all people. I'm looking at Reverend Swint, and she's one of our ladies. But tonight we're going to honor Madeline Porter, Vanessa Gray, Daisy Daniels. I had my list, I don't want to miss anybody. Mary Kegler. I see a hundredfold. Is it the fold one before? I just missed one name. I got Vanessa, I got Madeline. Of course, the most important name of all, our founder, Miss Myrick, Yvonne Myrick, who has given so much to the city of Hamtramck. Okay, is everyone else here, or is this it? This is us? Okay. Madeline, take the mic.
Okay, I feel like we're the final awardees at the Academy Awards. But I'm going to keep it short and sweet. First of all, thank you on behalf of the Concerned Women of Hamtramck. We would like for you to continue to support our annual Dr. Martin Luther King, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King breakfast. And in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King, I would like for everyone in this room, every organization, every individual, to help keep the King's dream alive, and for us to work together as a village, and to help build Hamtramck into the world-class melting pot that it can be. And again, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, and I bid thee farewell. Thank you.
Now, everybody sees the tall guy with the camera. He is an honoree. Gregory Kirchner, Media Excellence Award. Gregory volunteers to videotape and edit important public events to preserve the history of Hamtramck. He generally donates his time and produces excellent materials without charge. Hamtramck legend, right there, Gregory Kirchner, Media Excellence Award. Here's your acceptance speech. Give it up for Gregory Kirchner.
Thank you so much, HCI. I would be proudly direct. I did mention something that's close to my heart. Many cities in the southeastern Michigan have TV programs, TV stations on usually one of the channels on cable. So does Hamtramck. Many of these its cities utilize that program, utilize the channel, and produce different programs. Have students work on it and so on. Hamtramck uses also council meetings. So what I would like to do is appeal to our city government to take another look at the possibility of utilizing the channel so community information could be transmitted daily. So the citizens of our city would have access to information and would be able to participate. And programs worthwhile could be aired and available to anyone. So I hope that the city officials might take it under consideration next time you come to Comcast. Thank you so much.
We have an awardee who's not here tonight, Renee Savage. Renee is well known to the Hamtramck Police Department, not because she misbehaves, but because she brings special meals and encouragement to our Hamtramck Police Department. She's also very active with the Hamtramck Public Schools. She could not be with us tonight, but can we just give her a round of applause for the video? And Renee, we love you. Thank you for your service, and the award she's receiving tonight, we'll make sure she gets it, is Hamtramck Citizen of the Year.
Last one, are you ready?
Okay, it's a great honor to welcome Hamtramck Community Initiative Board Member Vera Burke. Vera is receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. Lifetime Achievement Award. Congratulations. I'm going to let you say something and then I'm going to...
Mine's going to be very short. Thank you, HCI. As your vice chair, I appreciate what you have done for me tonight. And I want to thank my family. Can I have my family stand? My family, friends, family and friends. Everybody, right. All my friends. I see some of the senior classes, but they didn't stand. That's okay. I don't want to part you out, but I will. Okay, and a special thanks to my son, Emery Burke. And my daughter-in-law, Dorothy. My grandchildren, you know, I have 4 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. And I think whoever's going to talk about me will tell you the rest of the history. And I have a nephew here who is a minister, Reverend Clay. I have a brother, it's only 2 of us, Richard Burke, and my sister-in-law, Sharon. Now, I'm not going to name them all. Jeffrey, I got a bunch of these, Beverly, and Niecy. That's Sharon. Sandy, okay. But I didn't want to take all of that, but I just had to do that because I'm so proud of my family, and I love them to death, and also my friends. And just keep me up in prayer.
So Vera Burke, we're not going to tell you what year she was born, but she's about 10 shy of 100. Vera has lived in the same house in Hamtramck all her life. When we started Hamtramck Community Initiative 12 years ago, we had to go to her because she was the original Block Club Association leader, and she taught us how to do HCI, and she's now chairing the Citizen Patrol. She goes out on patrol. Some of you who have never gone out on patrol should go out with Vera and learn how to do it. She's had many, many awards. She's had awards from Martha Scott. Teola Hunter. She's had awards from Wayne County. She's been a member of her church for over 70 years. She's active in her church. She was the first African-American woman to be hired by the city of Hamtramck as a code enforcer, and she served for 7 years after she retired. So she is my shero. I could go on with many, many other wonderful things about her, but what she said is that she loves, most of all, helping people. And the verse she gave me was, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And thank you. I admire you, I love you, and God bless you. Our last award, we're going to invite up Mr. Adam Alharbi. Let's welcome our last awardee. So Adam, tell us a little bit about your Hamtramck Community Facebook and Instagram.
First, I want to thank HCI for the awards. I'm overwhelmed. This is my second award tonight. I grew up here in Hamtramck. I graduated from Hamtramck High School, and I went on to Wayne City University, graduated in an engineering degree, and I moved out of Michigan for about 7 years to work as an engineer. And I came back here. I found the lack of social media covering the city of Hamtramck. The good things that happen in Hamtramck, the good attractions and the people of Hamtramck. So I started the Hamtramck community page. First it was the Hamtramck community members. I actually was trying to not let people know who runs it because it's for the community, you know. For 3 years now it's been running, and actually tonight you guys exposed me, you know. There's actually, the award actually goes to the community, because everything that's posted there is about the community, about the people of Hamtramck, and I believe the award goes to the community, and I thank you, and thank everyone here.
So Adam, I truly appreciate all the uplifting things you do for our city through the Facebook page and Instagram, and he is the winner of our first ever social media award, and please receive your award. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our award ceremony. We would like you to stay and dance. With us, she's going to break forth in song. And if you're so inclined to help the board with any cleanup, we'd appreciate that as well. But thank you so much for your attention and for coming tonight and giving such a warm, warm welcome to all the awardees. Congratulations to each and every one. Thank you. Be safe. Happy spring. We finally had a spring day today. And happy birthday to Mayor Karen. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you.